guys, today I'm filming the first update for the makeup I want to use up in 2021, which is the title I gave my year-long project pan for this year. So I've been doing these year-long project pans for many years now, since the first year I started doing project panning. And basically at the beginning of the year, I chose a group of products that I wanted to finish or hit pan on, and these are all items that are going to be more long-term goals, and I will put in several of these products into my different seasonal 10 pans to make sure I'm focusing on them. And in these updates I will also be sharing my makeup empties with you. I film these every 2 months, and before we get into the video, I wanted to show you guys my earrings. I really like them. So these are from Ana Luisa, which I know they sponsor a bunch of people, but my husband actually purchased these for me for our anniversary, and I think they're so pretty. So I have the mini Huggies and the Celeste earrings, I believe is what they're called. So this one is a little moon. This one is a star. I've never used Huggies before. I've always wanted them, but I haven't found them at the mall, which is where I buy my earrings. So I'm so excited to try these. And what I realized is that either my earlobes are different sizes or Claire's effed me up, you know, 100 years ago when I got my second hole, because it was so much harder to get the Huggie on this ear than it was this ear. But I was like, dang, if people got chunky earlobes, like this ain't happening. But they're really cute, although I need to get some like cleaner, because I haven't worn earrings at my second hole in forever and I need to clean them. But I just wanted to wear them both. I thought they were so cute and fun. I am loving them so far. I will have them linked down below. A bunch of people have affiliate codes on YouTube, so definitely use one of those if you're going to be purchasing. But I definitely want to try more jewelry from them in the future. I would love to know your favorite pieces if you've purchased from them, but I just think these are so pretty and very different for me, and I'm loving it. So anyway, into the makeup. So I was able to finish up 5 products from my year-long project pan, which I'm feeling really excited about. I feel like I started the year strong. So the first one would be this mini bottle of the MAC Fix Plus Rose, and this is a 1 fluid ounce bottle. I am using up my mini MAC Fix Plus bottles as primer sprays because I have so many facial sprays in my collection. I'm really trying to get a bunch out this year, and I feel like this is a nice formula to use as a primer spray where I don't feel like I'm just wasting it. And I finished 1 of my 3 scented versions, so we are at a good place. I don't love the rose scent. I don't like the scented versions in general. I prefer the original. It has a very nice light fresh scent that I love. I think MAC Fix Plus is a wonderful product. It does really help the powder melt into the skin. I wear a lot of makeup, a lot of products, a lot of powders, so it is something beneficial to me. And I've got several minis of the original and a couple full sizes as well, so I need to get through my stash, but I'm happy I used it up, would not repurchase the rose version. The next thing you guys might be surprised by, I completely used up the Benefit Boiing Cakeless Concealer in the shade number 2. Completely cleaned it out. I took out the stopper and I used my little makeup spatula to scoop out all the product. And I was watching a video from Makeup with Mariella a couple months ago, and I think it must have been a declutter, and she was talking about keeping some concealers to use as foundations. And normally that's not something I would do because I can feel like that's a bit wasteful sometimes, even though like it's not like you're throwing it away or anything. It just feels wasteful to me. But this is a concealer that is too dark for me. I don't like this formula as a concealer. So I was like, do I want to really torture myself for the next 6 months, or do I want to use it up as foundation? So I decided to use it up as foundation, and the color worked much better for me because of course I'm wanting to brighten under my eyes, but I want my foundation to match my body, and this did work well in that way. But I just don't love this concealer. It does crease on me. I think it gives nice medium coverage, but Tarte Shape Tape is just my favorite. I've tried several others that are very hyped up Tarte is still the best. So I'm really happy that I finished this. Of course, it's not the biggest accomplishment because I use it as a foundation, but I have the amount of product for a concealer. I don't know. I don't quite know how I feel about it, but I'm happy to have it out of my collection because I would like to focus on getting use out of my other concealers this year. So it's good to have that done, and it's pricey, so that will be nice for my total of my yearly makeup empties. And then I finished 3 lip products. The first being the Bite Beauty Agave lip mask. I can't remember where I was at the intro. I think actually I was right after the wording here, so about there. Yeah, that feels right. That looks like how much product I had in the intro. This is just a little mini size. I thought this was going to take me forever. I got through it relatively quickly. I use this at night, and once in the morning I use a different lip balm to apply throughout the day. I really enjoy this. It is a nice thick consistency, which does help hydrate the lips. It doesn't wear off super quickly, not sticky. I do really like this, and I didn't have trouble squeezing it out. I know a lot of people that have the full size have had issue, but it's not something I'd repurchase. I do still like the Laneige lip sleeping mask a little bit better if I'm gonna go for something that's not in a stick version. And then of course, you guys know I love my EOS lip balm. So really happy to have gotten this one used up, and especially so soon, but I wouldn't repurchase it. If I got another mini, or if this came up as a Sephora code or a 100-point perk, I would probably get it, but I wouldn't buy it. And then I used up 2 of the 3 colored lip products that I put in this project. I can't believe it either. And the first one is the Buxom Full-On Plumping Lip Cream in Dolly, and I had about half of this left. This was a rollover from last year's Project Pan, and the way I was able to get through these colored lip products is that I applied a layer before every video meeting, and I have 2 to 4 meetings a day, so that's really how I got through it. I wasn't using this in replacement of lip balm. I did still use lip balm throughout the day, but luckily for me, I guess I have so many meetings, it benefited me and I was able to get through 2 lip products. I love these glosses. I think that they're phenomenal. I definitely prefer the lip creams over the lip polishes. I do love Dolly. It's a beautiful mauve shade. I will repurchase this in the future. I'm not going to quite yet because I do have a lot of glosses in my collection, and I do have Rose Julep, which is a similar shade. It's a little brighter, a little pinker. I like this one better, but I feel like I want to use that one up first before I repurchase this. But if you are interested, these are part of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, which is coming very soon, although it actually probably has started by the time this video is uploaded, so definitely pick those up if you're interested. And then the most exciting one, I used up the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper in the shade Natural Luster, which is just a shimmery champagne shade. And I was up to here at the beginning of the year. So in just 2 months, I got through all of that gloss, which is insane. And again, I just wore it before my meetings, and I took out the stopper on this one, and I scraped out everything I could, and then I did go in with my spatula to get the last couple uses. This does have a nice large applicator as well. I love the formula of this gloss. It has a little bit of thickness to it, but not where it feels heavy or it's sticky. It just feels cushiony on the lips. It does give like a little bit of a cooling sensation, but it's not as intense as the Buxom ones. I love these glosses. I have one other shimmer finish, and I do want to try some cream finishes as well. Again, I don't need to repurchase any lip glosses right now. I would rather try out some new things if I'm going to buy a lip product, but these are both on my list to repurchase in the future. I don't think I would get Natural Luster again. I think it was fine. This was actually my purse gloss for a little while, but I would prefer some with a little bit more color. But great formulas. So now I'm going to show you the progress on the rest of the items. Some of them I have not used at all, but I will still show them to you today. And we're starting with one I haven't used at all. This is the Touch in Sol No Poreblem Primer. This expires in November of this year, so I would like to finish it up. And I have about 2/3 of the bottle left. And it really does take me a long time to get through full-size primers. I really do enjoy the formula of this. I was thinking I was going to start working on it in the spring, but I do have a couple other mini primers I want to get out as well, and then I'll start working on this. So definitely summer, fall, and probably the tail end of spring. So hopefully I am giving myself enough time to use it up before it expires. Then we have foundation. So there is one foundation that is the oldest in my collection that I wanted to use up this year, but then I had another goal of really just testing the foundations in my collection. I feel like they're a bit neglected because I was panning foundation so much last year. So I've got two goals in one. So I'm gonna start by showing you the progress on my Project Pan foundation, which is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage in number 10 Light Beige. And I was right here at the intro. Now I'm down here. I really wanted to be to the bottom of this sticker by this update, and I am. And I have probably a third left because look how much extra packaging is down here at the bottom. So probably about a third left. I do think it's going to take me a while to get through this because it actually does give great coverage. I don't need a ton of product. And this is too dark for me, so I had been mixing it with the Clinique Even Better foundation, which was working okay. But I just in the past couple days started mixing it with one of the foundations I was testing for my collection, and I'm loving the combo, so I wanted to share it with you. So that would be mixing the Catrice with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte in the shade 100 True Alabaster. So I did wear this one by itself several days this month, and it actually is a little bit light for me. So mixing these two together, I just did for the shade match, and then I realized these formulas work so well together. They're both more matte foundations and they're very thin consistencies, and they mix so well together and they give such good coverage, long wearing, help keep me matte. So I'm so happy I found this combo. I like it so much better than using it with the Clinique. And this foundation is nice on its own, and this is one of the extended shades. I have had this for a couple of years, but both of these are neutral leaning yellow undertones. This one's too dark for me, this one's too light. So mixing them together, it's what I'm wearing for my foundation today. I think my skin looks great, and I did not need to apply that much product. So for the rest of the time that I'm using this up, I will be mixing it with the L'Oreal, and I'm very excited about this combo. And then the other foundation that I tested was the Revlon Colorstay, the normal dry skin version in 150 Buff. This is my perfect shade match. And the Revlon Colorstay foundation in the oily combo version was the very first foundation I ever tried in 2010. And well, I guess not the first foundation I ever tried. I may have had Bare Minerals before then, but like the first liquid foundation I used, obsessed. I was so in love with it. They've changed the formula, the packaging, but the formula a couple times over the years. I don't know if everybody would agree, but I would say 100% I noticed a difference. And this was decluttered to me by my friend Jean, and of course this is a different formula because this is the normal to dry skin version. But I just thought the coverage was fine. It looked okay in the skin, it wore okay. If I had fewer foundations, I would definitely keep it and use it up. But I am actually going to be decluttering this and passing this on to a friend because I have other foundations I prefer. And again, especially with how little I'm using makeup this year, I don't want things to be going bad in my collection that I love. So this is going to go, but it wasn't bad. This one is going to be staying, and I'm very excited to continue mixing it with this Catrice foundation. Next, I have something that I added into my intro. I had just popped up a little picture because I believe I got this as a freebie in the mail after I had filmed my intro. And this is the little mini Becca under eye corrector. And this is the original shade. And I used up one of these last year. And these look like such a small size, but it actually has half the amount of product you get in the full size. And I don't necessarily need a corrector, but I have it, I want to use it. I've already made some good progress, but this is possibly gonna take me 6 months to use up, especially considering that I'm not wearing makeup every day. So I don't get the hype on this. I think it's a little too hydrating for me. It does crease. It is more brightening than correcting. I don't know. I don't know why people love it, but I like it enough to use it up. So made a little progress on that. Then for concealer, I did use up that Benefit already as a foundation. And then the other concealer I had in this project was the ColourPop No Filter in the Fair 00 shade, which is the pure white. And I believe I'm somewhere down here. There is still some product on the sides up here. I haven't taken out the stopper yet. I don't need to. This is something I'm using as a mixer, so it's taking me a little longer to get through. And now that I've used up the Benefit, I only have 3 regular concealers in my collection. Tarte Shape Tape, Dose of Colors. Both of those are good brightening shades for me. And then I have the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in Swan, which really is more of a skin tone match than a brightening shade for me. So now I'm using the ColourPop White Concealer with this, and the formulas and colors are working very well together, but I'm trying to get use out of all of my concealers. So basically I will go Dose of Colors, Too Faced combo, Tarte, Too Faced combo, Dose of Colors, Too Faced combo, Tarte. So I'm using this combo for a month, every other month. So hopefully I can finish this by the end of the year. They don't come with a ton of products, but because I'm just using it as a mixer, it's taking me longer to get through, but this is pretty old. I will repurchase this in the future, especially because I know this concealer comes with a lot of products. So unless I decide I want to use this up as a foundation, I'm gonna need something to mix in with it. But this is not in my project. I just want to let you know how I'm using this. This is a very rambly update. I apologize. And next I have my face powder. This is the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin in Tin Porcelain. I will pop up a picture of where I was at for my intro. I have made a lot of progress since then. This was in my winter project pan. I am going to roll it over into my spring project to finish it up. And I mentioned in my intro that I do have a backup of this, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to pan that one or not. And I do believe I want to pan that. So as soon as I finish this one, I will roll in my backup. It's my favorite pressed powder with coverage, but I prefer using loose powder in general. So I would like to get through them, and they are discontinued. So hopefully this will be an empty for my next update. Then I have this Hourglass Unlocked palette, and the 2 shades I have in this project would be these finishing powders in Soft Light and Filtered Light. So I just put Soft Light in my spring project. I'm just using this as a brightening powder to give a little bit of glow down the center of my face. And then this shade here is something that I'm going to be using mixed with bronzer. And in my intro, I said I was going to use it as a bronzer base, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I'm actually going to be using this on top of other bronzers to help buff them out and make them blend into my skin a little bit better. So I'm very excited to see my next update, how much progress I'm gonna make on the lighter powder. Then I have the 3 bronzers that I'm working on that were rollovers from last year's project. And the first is my winter bronzer, which is Benefit Hoola. So this is where I am right now, and I will insert a picture of where I was at my intro. And I've repressed it since then, and I've hit pan again. So I've made a lot of progress, but there's still a good amount of product in here. It's very pigmented. It's not very powdery, and I'm still gonna need to be using this for a while. So what I've decided is that I'm gonna use this as a contour until I use it up, and I'm hoping it won't take too long, but we'll see. Then we have my spring bronzer, which is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the bronzer shade. I have a lot of pan here, but the product that is left is pretty full. And when I repressed this, it did become a lot more powdery, but I don't want to be blowing away powder kick up because I don't want to blow away half the product. I will be using the kick up and applying it to my face, but it's really like once it got more powdery after I repressed it, it also became much more pigmented. So I cannot apply too much or I will look a little bit crazy, but I'm hoping I can finish this in my spring project. So I'm using this as my bronzer and this is my contour. And then the one I actually do feel confident about finishing is going to be my fall bronzer, which is this deluxe sample of the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil. And there's really not too much in here. It's not like super thin, but it's not super thick either. I know it's not powdery at all, but I do think I can get through this one this year. But if I, for some reason, don't finish these in spring, I'll roll them over into summer. I don't love that I'm neglecting the other bronzers in my collection, but I am determined to finish them this year. I don't want to work on these bronzers for more than 2 years. And my goal is for 2021, I'm just gonna rotate through the bronzers in my collection and get use out of all of them. I have backups of all of these as well, which is why I'm trying to use them up. Next for face, we have my facial sprays. So I still have 3 of the 4 MAC Fix Pluses that I'm gonna be using as primer sprays. Lavender for spring, coconut for summer, and the original for fall. So I haven't used the original and the coconut yet, but I have started using the lavender. I'm just under this line. This is in my spring project pan. It's possible this might be used up by my next update. If not, it will be very close. Then for my actual setting spray, the oldest in my collection is the MAC Fix Plus Matte. I was here at my intro, now I'm down to here. I've only been using this for the past week, so that's why I haven't made too much progress. And I have another setting spray in my spring project right now, but when I finish that one up, I will go back to this. So I do still feel pretty confident I can finish this by the end of the year. Then for eye products, I have a brow product that I'm not doing good on. This is the Lorac Take a Brow Kit in the shade Blonde. I'm just wanting to hit pan on the lightest shade. And I've only used this probably 4 or 5 times, which is not good. I need to get back in the habit of using this every time I do my makeup. It's my favorite brow powder. I just don't use powder anymore, but I have a couple backups of this, so I do want to get back into using it. Then I have the eyeshadows I was using to set my primer. These are going to take me until the end of the year to use up, and I just wanted to track my progress. And these are some eyeshadows from theBalm Matte Malloy I used to set the primer under my brow bone, and Matte Lin I used to set the primer in my crease. I'll insert a picture from my intro. My pans have definitely expanded, but these pans come with a ton of shadow and it's not a super powdery formula, so it is going to take me most of the year to get through, but I'm totally fine with that. Then I have my Anastasia eyeshadow in Birkin. This is a rollover from last year. I have so much pan in here and I am going to repress this. This is in my spring project pan. If I don't finish it in spring, I will roll this over. This is something else I'm very determined to finish this year. I already have a backup of it and it's one of my favorite transition colors ever. It's nice and warm tone without being too orangey. So I've only used it probably 3 times so far this year, but I'm gonna use this up for sure. Next I have 2 Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Minis. And the first color I have is Intense Moonlight. This was in my winter project pan and I was able to use up only about half of this. So there is still a good bit left, and this is a very taupey base, a little on the silvery side, and I cannot really wear this with all shadows. So I'm actually going to be removing it from this project and putting it back in my collection with hopes of finishing it next year. But I do have a replacement, which I'll get to. And then the other shadow stick is another one from Laura Mercier. This is Intense Rose Gold. You can see I only have about half that I'm starting with. And this is in my spring project. This will be really easy for me to finish this year because this type of color works as a base under tons of different lid shades. So I do feel confident that I can get this one used up. And I have one liner rollover from last year. This is the Maybelline Lasting Drama Liner in Striking Copper in love with this. It was discontinued. I do have a backup, and this is something that I won't start using until summertime, and I do feel confident I can finish it this year. And I only have one colored lip product left. This is the Sephora Melting Lip Click in the shade number 1 Caramel, dripping in my barrel. And this is a really pretty warm nude color, has a little bit of pink in it, very creamy formula. I really have no idea how much product is in here or how long it's going to take me to get through this, so I'm not going to add in any more colored lip products into this project, but I will add some into my seasonal project pan. So I'm probably going to start using this one in the summer or fall time. And then I do have 4 products that I would like to add into this project. The first one is a product from Illamasqua. This is a powder blush in the shade Intrigue, which is a matte white. You can see I already do have a little bit of pan on this, and I like to use this with a big fluffy brush to help clean up the contour. And I do have to be very careful because this is super pigmented, and this is something that I think I'll end up finishing next year, but I want to start using it now. My goal is going to be just to expand the pan, and I just want to track my progress with you guys. I think that will be very interesting. So again, this is where I'm starting. Next, I want to add in a replacement shadow stick. This is a mini of the Bobbi Brown Long Wear Cream Shadow Stick in Golden Pink. And I do have a backup mini of this one, which is why I want to use it up. And there is a decent amount of product in here, but again, the color of this base is something I can use under so many different lid shades. And if I focus on the Laura Mercier in the spring, I think I can use this summer and fall and hopefully get the both of them used up. For the past 2 years, I've used up 2 shadow sticks each year, and I'm wanting to do that again this year, so hopefully I can make it happen with those 2 shades. Then I've got 2 lip care products I'm going to be adding in. The first is another lip balm, and this is one of the older ones in my collection. This is a mini size, I believe, of the Bite Beauty Agave Nighttime Lip Therapy. It has 7 grams or 0.24 ounces. I started using this as soon as I finished the other Bite lip mask, and you can see I've been digging my nail in there. I think this is going to take me possibly all year to use up. I've really been using this for a while, and you really can't tell. Like, you can see I've dug my nail in there, but there's not a ton of progress. There's a lot of product in here, and this is something I use once in the morning and once right before bed. I use other lip balms throughout the day, so this is definitely more of a long-term goal. And then the last product I have here, it's a little messy, so I saved it for last, and that would be the Frank Body Original Lip Scrub, and this is coffee scented. This is huge. There's so much product in here, and I would like to hit pan is going to be the goal. If I can finish it completely, that would be fantastic. This is just super oily, I think, just from the way I'm storing it, so I will be putting this in the shower. I do have another lip scrub that's a couple months older, but because this one is so messy, I would like to use this one up first. So we'll see how that we'll see how it goes. And again, my initial goal is going to be just to hit pan, and we'll see how long that takes me, and I will expand my goal from there. And now I want to show you the additional makeup products I used up in January and February, and there were 18 products. That's insane. A lot of deluxe size samples, but I'm really proud that I've started out the year with more than 20 empties in just the first 2 months. We'll see if I can keep it up. So a lot of these were in my winter project pan, which I will link in the cards. All 3 of these mini primers were. So I'm going to give you some quick summed up thoughts. The Tarte Quench Hydrating Primer, just kind of basic, didn't do much for me. The Beauty Blender Opal Essence Primer, Very, very greasy. Don't recommend that at all. And then the Touch in Sol Pretty Filter Glassy Skin Balm. I like the scent of this, and it's a really interesting texture. It does look very glassy on the skin. It's really pretty, and I would recommend this one. And I did get a full size decluttered to me, so I'm excited to try that out more and really see what I think of the product. I did use up a full size of the Derma Blend Translucent Loose Setting Powder. You guys know this is my favorite. I like to use it to set my under eyes and my face. And I do have one more backup in my collection. And luckily this is going to be part of the Spring Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. So I will be buying 2 more because I love this powder so much and I do go through it relatively quickly. Then I used up 3 mini setting sprays. Too Faced Hangover RX, just okay. NYX Matte Finish, just okay. And then the Urban Decay All Nighter, which is my favorite. So out of these 3, the Urban Decay is the only one that I would repurchase. Then I used up a few brow products. The first is the Anastasia Brow Wiz Pencil in Taupe. I do like this brow pencil. I think it's a nice formula. This color works okay for me. It's a little more cool tone than I prefer. I like this formula, but I do prefer the Benefit Brow Pencil, and I would rather purchase that one over this. And I do have several backups of the Precisely My Brow. And then I did finally call it quits on the Benefit 3D Brow Tones in the shade number 2, which is like a slightly metallic brow gel. Because the applicator doesn't glue on too much product, I think this was really nice. It did help emphasize the brow hairs. I'm not going to repurchase this. I do like Gimme Brow a little bit better, but I like this a lot more than I was expecting to. I was really nervous about it actually. I did use up a mini of the Anastasia Eye Primer. This is the like deluxe sample size. It has 2 mils in it. I really love this. It does actually give some color. It's like a cream shade. Depending on your skin tone, it might look a little white on you. Blends really nicely. It does help cancel out some of the coloring on my eyes, but it's not a thick product like a concealer, and it doesn't crease. So this is something that I would actually repurchase. I was very impressed with that formula. I used up the Benefit Roller Liner in the black shade. This is a felt tip liquid liner. This was super easy to apply. I love the shape of the felt tip. It was very easy to line my eyes and do my wing. However, I do have very watery eyes, and this ran really badly on me. It got up in my crease. It came down here. It was a mess, so it's not something I would repurchase because of that. And even though I did like how it applied, if I get any more minis, I'm gonna pass it on too, just because you guys have seen it in some of my videos. My makeup has been messed up. I did use up some mascaras as well. For my mini mascaras, I'm only using them for 2 months. And I am using the Lancome Hypnose Drama, which is one of my favorite mascaras of all time. It has a nice wet formula, gives some length and volume. Would repurchase this. And then I have the Maybelline Falsies mascara, which also is more of a wet formula. Natural bristle brush, gives some nice volume. I do like this one, but not as much as I remember loving it back in the day. So I don't think I would repurchase this one. And I really get so many mini mascaras, I don't really need to. Then I've got 5 lip care products. I've really been balming it up this year. So the first thing is this Tree Hut Sugar Lips Lip Scrub. It's a really nice minty scent. So happy I used it up because this was pretty old. And unfortunately, I would not repurchase this because it really made my lips feel very dry after I used it. So it wasn't doing enough for my lips. I felt like it was hurting them more than it was helping them. But it is a sugar scrub, and I like the texture. Like the act of exfoliating my lips with that was nice. It just dried them out a little bit. Then I used up the stick and the sphere version of the EOS Lip Balm in Sweet Mint. You guys know this is my holy grail lip balm because it's not too thin, it's not too thick, it's very easy to reapply. I've been trying to pan so many other lip balms, and there are times where I just go and pull the stick out of my purse because I just love it so much, and the texture works so well. Very easy to continually reapply throughout the day, so I will repurchase both of these. I keep the spheres on my vanity and the sticks in my purse. And then I did use up 2 minis of the Fresh Sugar Mint Rush Lip Balm. I like the scent of this. I do think the Fresh Balms are very nice. They're very thin. They feel really smooth, but they almost dry out my lips a little bit. They're not the most hydrating. They definitely don't have like a long lasting hydrating effect. It's just something very temporary. I like using these up because they have a high value. They feel a little bit luxurious, but I would never purchase these. I just think they're fun to use up and I can get them as freebies. So I know that this was a super long update. I apologize for that, but I really wanted to talk through some of my processes, some of my combos, some of my thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would love to know your thoughts on these products in the comments down below, and I would love to know what project pans you are doing currently. I'm also doing my spring project 10 pan, which I just started. Literally, I posted my intro right before this one. I am doing the Partners in Cream project pan collab and a sample project pan as well. And definitely let me know what projects you're doing in the comments down below, and if you film YouTube videos so I can go check them out. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.